Recently, just a few days back, I recorded this video in which I told you about the incident happened in Indore, MP, India, where some pub owner committed suicide because of a mean, opportunist, gold digger women. So I tried to tell you some of the lessons through that incident, but there are a few more lessons that I want all of you to know and understand and to begin following or implementing in your life to keep yourself protected from any such situations and scenarios. See, first of all, I want to tell you, the very first thing which I want to tell you is that committing suicide is never a solution of any problem. Okay, no matter what you are going through, never think of taking your life, because I am telling you, in the end, if you can keep yourself strong, in the end everything gets fixed, everything gets solved, and a lot depends on where we are putting our focus. If you get depressed, disappointed, or maybe out of your fear, if you begin putting your focus on such things like suicide and all, taking your life, then how your brain will help you find solution? Your brain will not help you find solution, simply because you are not putting your focus on finding solution. So first of all, you need to fix your attitude. For the very first thing which you must tell yourself, that committing suicide is never a solution of anything, and no matter how hard, difficult, tough situation you are going through, there is solution of it. Only if you begin putting your focus on finding the solution, instead of getting depressed, disappointed by it, and instead of facing and feeling the fear because of whatever is going on, if only you begin putting your focus on finding solution for dealing with that situation, I am telling you, your brain, human brain, is a very complex thing, and it is also something which can help you find solutions only if you begin putting the focus on to finding solution. In the end, every problem in this world has a solution. So the very first thing is, please take it out from your brain that taking your life can ever be a solution. Taking your life is never a solution, no matter how difficult and harsh situation, problem you are going through. Anytime you find yourself in a tough situation, instead of getting depressed, disappointed, and instead of getting into fear, instead of getting intimidated by it, you better begin putting your focus on finding the solution of it. Okay, I'm in this problem, so what can be the solution for this problem? How I can deal through this problem? What can be the steps I can follow, where I can go, who I can talk to? You know, this is how you need to begin dealing in your life, in all different aspects of your life. So in this scenario, I want to tell you a few more important tips which you must follow. Anytime you find yourself in any such scenario where a woman is threatening you on the name of sex, where maybe society is threatening you or trying to blackmail you on the name of sex, I think I have already told you in one video which I recorded around monk. Some monk got caught in Thailand and some woman was blackmailing him for money. In that video also I told you that very first thing that you must do as a man, wash off from your brain as if sex is a sin, sex is a crime, sex is something wrong which you do with a woman. Because what happens in all of these scenarios I am telling you, and this must have happened in this scenario also, simply because men begin feeling guilty. maybe because he has expressed his feeling of doing sex with a woman, or maybe because he has done sex with a woman, he himself begins feeling guilty, as if he has done something wrong. And because of this attitude which is filled of guilt and fear, very unknowingly these men give a power into the hands of the woman, that this woman begins mistreating him, mishandling him, and begin exploiting him on the name of sex. Actually, what happens, simply because this man is himself thinking or feeling as if sex is something wrong which he can do with women. So when he is expressing his desire of doing sex with a woman, somewhere at the back of the head he is thinking as if he is doing something wrong, as if he is thinking of or planning of doing a crime. And even when he has done sex with a woman, he keeps on thinking at the back of his head as if he has done something wrong with this woman, as if he has committed a crime with this woman by doing sex with this woman. So simply because he himself does not have positive attitude towards sex, he begins putting himself into guilt and into fear, thinking as if he has done something wrong, or as if he has committed some crime with this woman. And women are very smart. I have told you many times that women have no remorse for weak men, women have no empathy for or towards men, and women are so mean and so opportunist and so hard-hearted that as soon as you will go and show your weakness to a woman, or if you act weak before a woman, or maybe if you act weak with a woman, I am telling you, this woman will leave no stone unturned in misusing you, in extorting money from you, in exploiting you, in many all different multiple ways she can benefit from you. So simply because all of these men themselves have no positive attitude towards sex, simply because all of these men themselves think as if it is something wrong which they are planning and thinking of doing with a woman, and as if it is something wrong which they have done with a woman, they themselves begin getting into guilt. And simply because they begin getting into guilt, they begin fearing it. They begin fearing the woman, and they begin fearing getting the entire episode public, simply because they themselves have negative attitude towards sex, simply because they themselves think as if they have done something wrong to the woman. They begin feeling guilty and they begin fearing the entire act of sex getting public. So boys, first of all, I want all of you to reprogram your brain, wash off this idea from your brain as if sex is a sin, sex is a crime, sex is something wrong which you do with a woman, sex is something wrong which you think of or you can have desire of doing with a woman. There is nothing wrong in sex. Sex is a natural act which a man and woman do with each other. Only thing is there must be consent and agreement of both of the humans. That's it. You cannot force anybody to do anything. So the act of sex itself is not wrong. What is wrong is you forcing people doing something against their will, something which they don't want to do. For example, you come into my office and you do not want to sit in the sofa, and I still force you to sit on sofa. It is wrong because it is not in your will to sit on the sofa. Maybe you want to sit on the earth, on the ground. So it is just an example I am trying to tell you. The act of sex is not wrong in itself. What is wrong is to make people do something against their will. So having a desire of sex is not wrong. Thinking of, planning of, desiring to do sex with a woman is not wrong. Only thing is, you cannot force people to do sex with you. So even when you go ahead and do sex with a woman with her consent, with her will into it, with her agreement, there's nothing wrong in it. You have not done anything wrong with the woman. Simply because you two people were agreed to do sex with each other, there is nothing wrong in it. Sex is a natural act which has been made by this nature, so that two people of opposite gender can do it. So boys, the very first thing you need to do is to build a very positive attitude towards sex. You must begin telling yourself that there is nothing wrong in sex, there is nothing wrong in having a desire of sex, there is nothing wrong in feeling and thinking and planning of doing sex with a woman, and there is nothing wrong even when you go and do sex with a woman with her consent and with her agreement into it. And sex is possible only when you two people are agreed on it. I am telling you, if a woman is not agreed to do sex with you, you can never do sex with a woman. There is no possibility of you doing sex with a woman if the woman is not involved into it willingly, happily. So if somewhere sex is happening between man and a woman, it is happening because both of them are agreed on it. Both of them have given consent, indirect consent or direct consent on it, only because of which it is becoming possible. So boys, the very first thing you must do is wash off this idea from your brain that sex is a wrong thing, and you are thinking and desiring something wrong when you are thinking of and planning of and desiring to do sex with a woman. Even when you go ahead and do sex with a woman with her agreement, with her consent, there is nothing wrong you have done. So simply because there is nothing wrong you have done by doing sex with a woman, you must not get yourself into guilty. You must not feel bad about it, and you must not begin fearing anything. You do not need to get intimidated by this woman simply because you have done sex with her, and that too with her consent into it, with her agreement into it. I am telling you boys, I have already told you in one video previously that only the men who do not have positive attitude towards sex, only the men who fear accepting and admitting their sexuality among public get intimidated, extorted, misused and blackmailed by women and by society. And I am telling you, even in this case, simply because this man, the pub owner, must have got started getting intimidated by the woman, thinking as if he has done something wrong, as if he has committed some mistake by doing sex with this woman. He very unknowingly gave this power to this woman, where she could begin extorting him for money and begin exploiting him and begin blackmailing him. Only if this man dealt with the woman boldly, strongly, without getting intimidated by the woman and without fearing her, the woman would have had no power over him. The woman would have had no power to threaten him on anything. This woman could blackmail him, could extort him, and could threaten him only because the man must have begun showing in his attitude and demeanor weakness to the woman, thinking as if he has done something wrong, thinking as if he has committed a crime. So boys, first of all, wash off this idea from your brain as if sex is a wrong thing, as if sex is a crime, and as if sex is a sin. There is nothing wrong when you have this desire of doing sex with a woman. There is nothing wrong when you are thinking of, dreaming of, planning of doing sex with a woman. There is nothing wrong when you go and express your feeling of doing sex with a woman. Again, you are not troubling her, you are not you are not troubling her in any way, you are not forcing yourself on her, You are simply expressing your desire, keeping yourself in your limits, within your boundaries, without troubling her, without creating any problem for her. So there is nothing wrong in it. It is a very natural desire that any man can have towards a woman, and even women can have towards a man. Do not ever think that women are sexually passive creature. Even women have desire of doing sex with random men. So even many times women also go ahead and express their desire directly, indirectly to random men to get physical with them. I am telling you, this is very much possible in today's world, because women are also open and frank this much today. So sex is not something which is about men only. Even women have sexual desire. Even they go ahead and express their feeling of getting physical with men. So sex is something which is a natural act made by this nature for a man and women to do with each other. There is nothing wrong in it. There is no sin in it. So even when you go ahead and express your desire, keeping yourself within your boundaries in a polite and humble way, in a way where you are not troubling the woman, you are not creating any problem for her, there is nothing wrong in it. And when a woman agrees on it, when a woman goes ahead and does sex with you, with her consent, with her agreement, you have not done anything wrong there. You have simply done sex with the woman who gave you consent and who were agreed on doing sex with you. So again, there is nothing wrong in it. You do not need to fear it. You do not need to begin feeling guilty of it. You do not need to get intimidated by anybody for doing sex with some woman. You do not need to begin taking anybody's threat simply because you have done sex with some woman. If some woman or somebody from the society comes ahead and begins threatening you on the name of sex which you have done with some woman, I am telling you, stand there firmly and deal with the situation boldly. Do not get intimidated by him and by the woman. Ever. Do not fear anybody from the society and the woman herself simply because you have done sex with somebody. Ever. Stand there firmly, boldly, and admit and accept your sexuality very boldly. That yes, I am a man, I love men, I love sex. I am a man, I love sex, I have desire of sex, and any woman, any pretty woman whom I like would ever give me opportunity to do sex with them, I will go ahead and do sex with them. I will never hide my sexuality. I will never hide my sexuality from anybody. I am not scared of accepting and admitting my sexuality among public. And I will never get intimidated simply because I have this natural desire, biological desire of doing sex with women. And even when I have done sex with random women, and even when I am planning to do, I am going to do sex with some random woman, nobody in the society could ever come and threaten me and intimidate me for this. Because I am not doing anything wrong, I am not desiring anything wrong, I am not planning to do anything wrong. I am a man, God has made me like this. It is something which is given to me by this nature, and I have no shame. And I simply do not fear admitting it and accepting it in public and before anybody. So boys, this is the first thing that you must understand, that you do not feel guilty of it, you do not get intimidated by anybody, and you do not fear anybody simply because you have this biological and natural desire of sex. And even when you have gone ahead and done sex with random women, still you do not need to fear anybody, and you also do not need to fear the woman with whom you have done sex, and you do not need to get intimidated by the woman with whom you have done sex, because sex became possible only because the girl was involved in it, because she allowed you to do sex with her. So she came with her consent and with her agreement. So when she came with her agreement and with her consent into it, when she came with her consent and with her agreement into it, you do not need to fear anything, or you do not need to fear anybody, because you have done sex only after getting permission from the woman. And now when if this very woman with whom you have done sex begin threatening you on the name of it by telling you that if you will not conform to her demands, she will make it public, even then do not fear. I am telling you, women and society suppress only the men who are scared of admitting and accepting their sexuality among public. They are able to blackmail and extort only the men who themselves feel guilty of doing sex, who does not hold positive attitude towards sex. So in any such scenario when a woman where a woman is threatening you on the name of sex and telling you that if you will not conform to her demands, she will go and make it public, again you do not need to fear her. Deal with this situation very boldly. Deal with this woman very boldly. And I am telling you, as soon as a woman begins threatening you that she will make the act of sex public if it will not conform to her demands, go ahead and begin telling her that even you are going to go and make the entire thing public before even you do it. Instead of getting intimidated by the woman and instead of beginning to fear it, go ahead and very boldly begin telling to the woman that before you, I am going to make it public. I am going to go and tell everyone that we two have been having sex together. Why? Because I have not done anything wrong. Why? Because there is nothing wrong in it. Why? Because I am not feeling guilty of it. Because I have not done anything wrong. Why should I feel guilty of anything which is not wrong? Where I am not wrong. When I am not wrong, when I have not done anything wrong, why would I ever feel guilty of it? And when I am not feeling guilty of it, why would I ever fear it? Why would I ever fear getting it public or it becoming public? For example, you have gone to a restaurant simply because you were hungry and you took your food there by following proper arrangement and by following proper norms. If you have gone to a restaurant and fed yourself simply because you were feeling hungry, by keeping yourself and following all the norms, by keeping yourself within law and following all the norms, why would you ever fear if somebody would come ahead and begin threatening you that, oh, you have done something wrong, you went to the restaurant and you took food over there. I will tell to the entire society and I will tell to the entire world that you went to the restaurant and you took food there. Otherwise pay me this, otherwise do this for me, otherwise bring me this. If somebody would come and begin threatening you on the name of you going to a restaurant and getting yourself fed, you going to a restaurant and getting yourself fed, what would you do? Would you begin acting? Would you get scared of him? Would you get scared of him? Would you get intimidated by him simply because you have gone to a restaurant and took food there? And that too, keeping yourself within your boundaries and under the law. You did not force anybody in the restaurant to pay to give you the food. You know, you did not do anything wrong. Why would you ever fear anybody? Why would you ever fear it becoming public? You should never. So it is just an example I am giving you. So for example, if you have gone ahead and done sex with a woman with her consent, and if she begins threatening you that if you will not conform to her demands, she will make it public, instead of fearing it, instead of getting intimidated by the woman, you begin dealing with it very boldly. And you begin telling to the woman that you do not fear it becoming public, and in fact, before you make it public, I am going out and I am making it public. I am telling to the entire world that me and this woman have done sex or have been doing sex with each other. So when you will begin acting boldly, this woman, I am telling you, in most of the cases, in most of the scenarios, the woman will not go out and do anything, because women blackmail, women extort, women misuse only the weak men, and only the men who begin showing weakness, maybe in their attitude, maybe in their demeanor, to the woman. Only when this woman comes to know that you are fearing it, and only when this woman comes to know that you have started acting weak because of it, because you have started fearing it, then only this woman gets this power that she can go ahead and begin blackmailing you and exploiting you on the name of it. Otherwise, only if you learn to begin dealing with these situations and with this woman, with these women, only if you learn to begin to deal, only if you learn to begin dealing, only if you learn to begin dealing with these women and with these situations and scenarios boldly, without getting intimidated by them and without fearing them, I am telling you, this woman would step back and she would instead begin fearing you. Instead of she threatening you, if you will go ahead and begin dealing with the entire situation boldly, this woman would begin fearing you, and she would immediately give up all her plans to blackmail you and to extort you and to exploit you. So first of all, you need to fix your own attitude towards sex. You need to begin telling you that there is nothing wrong in doing sex with a woman. Next thing you need to do is to begin dealing with these situations boldly. You do not need to fear anybody simply because you have done sex with somebody. Begin dealing with these situations very boldly. Do not ever fear women, do not ever fear society simply because you have done sex with some woman. So this is what you need to do, boys. And a few more, two more things I want to add here is, boys, never go and try to oversmart a woman into sex. This is another mistake which many of you boys do, because of which you have to bow down before a woman, because somewhere you know in your head that it was you who tried to oversmart, or who tried to double cross the woman into the act of sex. So when you oversmarted and you tried to double cross the woman into the act of sex, somewhere you know that you are wrong and it is you who have done something wrong, because obviously it is wrong to oversmart a woman into the act of sex. So if you are having this desire, or if you feel like doing sex with a woman, instead of beating around the bushes, you learn to be very straightforward. Go directly to the woman and tell her that you feel like doing sex with this woman, and you are getting this desire or getting this feeling of doing sex with this woman only if she agrees on it. I am telling you, it is way better than beating around the bushes and taking the route of friendship, taking the route of being nice to her, taking the route of doing her sycophancy. Never try to oversmart and double cross a woman into the act of sex, because in that scenario, you know, everybody would know that it is you who are wrong, it is you who have done something wrong to the woman, and the woman will also know it, and simply because you are wrong in this scenario, everybody will be able to get an edge over you and they will be able to overpower you. And when everybody will be able to overpower you, you'll have to bow down, you'll have to conform with their demands, and then you will give them opportunity and power to begin misusing you and exploiting you. So make sure from your end that you are not double crossing any woman into the act of sex. When you are feeling like doing sex with a woman, be direct, be open, be fair, and be straightforward. If she agrees, it's okay, you can go ahead. If she doesn't, leave her, let her go. Let her go. But never begin trying to oversmart her into it, because then in that scenario it is you who will be wrong, and when you will be wrong, everybody will be able to overpower you, and you will have to conform to their demands, no matter how illegitimate their demands are, but you'll have to conform with their demands. And boys, always keep all of the records. Okay, for example, whatever is going on between you and the woman, even in this case, I am telling you, if this pub owner, instead of getting feared by the woman and intimidated by the woman, if only he could keep all the records, chatting, calls with him, and if only he began, and if only he began to show all of the evidences and proofs to the world that look, even she was involved into it, I had her consent, she was agreed for everything, and she was equally involved into it, and I was not doing anything forcefully with her. Whatever was going on between me and the woman, it was going on with the agreement of both and with the consent of both. So when you keep all the record with yourself, all the text messages, all the call records, you will be able to prove to the world, and you will be able to show to the world that you were not forcing her into it, and whatever was going on between you and the woman, it was going with the consent of both and with the agreement of both. So when everything was going with the consent and agreement of both, how you are guilty for it? How anybody can put the blame of it on you, when even the women were equally involved in it, and she gave you her consent and she gave you her agreement. So boys, these are two important, these are further important things which you need to keep in your mind. First is, never oversmart a woman into the act of sex. Okay, from your end, make sure that you are not scamming the woman or double crossing the woman into the act of sex. Second is, always keep the record. Never delete text messages, never delete phone calls. Keep all of them with you, because you never know when this woman would begin coming after you. So you need to be ready and prepared with all the evidences with you for that day. As soon as this woman begins coming after you, simply because you two were having sex with each other, you can begin showing to the world with all the kept evidences that look, whatever was going on with the agreement and consent of both, and she were equally involved into it. So you will be able to prove your innocence to the world. You will be able to prove to the world with those evidences that you are not wrong, and you were not forcing yourself onto the woman, and you were not doing anything with this woman forcefully. So boys, if you need to protect yourself from getting blackmailed and extorted and misused and exploited by the woman and by the society on the name of sex, these are all important points you need to keep in your mind. First of all, you yourself need to wash off this idea from your brain that sex is a sin and sex is a crime, and sex is something which is wrong. Sex is something wrong which you do with a woman. Okay, you need to wash off all of the idea from your brain that sex is a sin, sex is a crime, and sex is something wrong which you do with a woman. You need to begin taking sex very positively. Second thing, you need to make sure that you never act weak with a woman, and you never show weakness before a woman, because as soon as a woman smells weakness in a man, she leaves no stone unturned in misusing him, exploiting him, and extorting him. So you never do this mistake of acting weak before a woman and with a woman. You never do this mistake of showing any weakness to a woman. every time, all the time, you act and deal with women very boldly. No matter what is going on between you and the woman, you always act and deal with women very boldly. You never act with women weak. You never show your weakness to women. So that is the other point. Another point that you need to keep in your mind, you need to make sure that you are not wrong. It is not you who double crossed the woman into the act of sex. It is not you who oversmarted the woman into doing sex with you. So when you know that you are not wrong in any way, and whatever was going on with the agreement and consent of both of you, she was equally involved into it, she gave you consent, she came with her will, nobody will be able to put a blame on you, and nobody will be able to point their finger on you. And always keep the record. All of the evidence you need to keep with yourself. Never delete any call records, any chatting. If you can, pictures of both of you. If you can keep the pictures of both of you, keep the pictures of both of you always. And as soon as this woman begins coming after you in order to threaten you, in order to blackmail you, you immediately begin showing all of the proof to the world, to the court, to the law, to the judiciary, to the society that look, we were together. I am not trying to hide it, and I do not fear it, because there is it is not false, it is true that yes, we were together, but we were together with the consent of both of us, with the agreement of both of us, and she was equally involved into it. So whatever was going on between me and the woman, it was going on with the agreement and consent of both of us and with the involvement of both of us. I was not forcing myself on her, and I was not making her do anything with me forcefully. So if only you will keep all of the records and evidences with you, you will be able to prove to the world, you will be able to show to the world that look, everything was happening with the consent and the involvement of both of us, and I'm not wrong here. You cannot blame me for anything which was going on between me and the woman. So boys, these are all the points you need to keep in your mind all the time, and this is how you need to deal with these situations and scenarios. Those of you who don't know, I want to tell you that there is a law of honey trap. Okay, those of you boys who don't know, I want to tell you that there is a law of honey trap. Anytime a woman begins blackmailing you on the name of sex, and anytime a woman begins extorting money and expensive stuff from you simply because you have done sex with her, you can go into the court and file a case of honey trap against this woman. You can, there is a law in Indian judiciary which gives you this power, where you can file a case against a woman who is trying to extort you and blackmail you on the name of sex, or simply because you have done sex with the woman. Because this is what many of these women do, especially today. They go and lure a man into the act of sex, and once the man begins doing sex with them, they begin threatening him that now I will tell to the entire world that this man has done sex with me, otherwise fulfill my demands, otherwise conform all my orders. And many of the men, I am telling you, simply because they themselves do not have positive attitude towards sex, begin getting scared of her and begin conforming her illegitimate demands. So only if you know that there is a law in Indian judiciary which is called honey trapping, which gives you this power, where you can go and file a case against any woman who is trying to blackmail you on the name of sex and who is trying to extort money and other expensive things from you simply because you have done sex with her. You can go ahead simply because you have done sex with her. Indian judiciary gives you this power that you can go ahead and file a case against any such woman, and that law is called honey trapping. So you can go ahead and file a case against this woman, that this woman is blackmailing you and extorting money from you on the name of sex, simply because you have done sex with her. And your case will be strong if you will carry all of the proofs and evidences with you. Because of this reason only, I am suggesting you never delete any of the records, text messages and pictures from your mobile phone. Keep all of them with you. So if this woman begins threatening you on the name of sex, you can go and file the case of honey trapping against this woman. Carry all of your evidences and proofs with you and show them to the court, show them to the society, show them to the world that look, whatever was going on between me and this woman was happening with her consent and with her involvement into it. So I was not forcing her into it, and there is nothing wrong which I was doing with this woman. And this way you will be able to protect yourself from this woman and from the illegitimate demands of this woman. So I'm just telling you in order to keep you informed about it, that Indian judiciary has a law of honey trapping which you can go and file against any woman who are threatening you on the name of sex. There is a law in Indian judiciary which gives you this power and opportunity to protect you from any such woman. So you need to keep this in mind. But in that scenario, if you are going in a court and filing a case of honey trapping against a woman, it would be better and your case will be stronger if you carry evidences and proofs with you. So never delete call records, text messages and pictures from your mobile phone. Whatever interaction and communication has been going between you and the woman, carry it with you and show it to the court, show it to the world, show it to the society that yes, whatever was going on between me and the woman, it was going on with the involvement of both of us. So your case will be stronger and you will be able to prove to the world that you are innocent and you are not forcing her into it and you are not making her do things forcefully. So boys, know all of these things and keep yourself safe, keep yourself protected. And I want to add, I want to end this video with the last advice, and the last advice is before involving yourself with random woman, okay, unless you know this woman already through some sources, okay, it is better if you test the woman thoroughly before getting yourself fully involved with some woman. It is always better if you test this woman thoroughly, that what kind of woman is this and what her real motives are behind she being there with you, behind she showing interest in you. Because I am telling you, there are so many oversmart women out there whose only motive is to extort money out of men. So with the intention of extorting money out of men, they go ahead, they lure a man, they get a man trapped into them with their power of sex, and as soon as a man get trapped into them sexually, they begin threatening him, they begin extorting him, and they begin making illegitimate demands to him. So this is the time I would suggest it is better if you thoroughly test the woman before involving yourself fully with any woman, because there are so many oversmart women out there today who has made it their profession to lure men with the power of sex and then to begin extorting them and begin blackmailing them. So be safe, be protected, and keep your brain open, okay? Anytime you are dealing with any woman, never switch off your brain, always keep your brain running. And it is better if you keep yourself away from all of the women who are fully stranger to you, okay, and go ahead and involve yourself fully with any woman only after you have thoroughly tested her, and only after you have thoroughly tested her motives, what she is exactly there for, and even a minute of threat you feel, even a minute of threat you feel, even a minute of doubt you feel, it's better if you pull yourself away from that woman, because your safety comes first. And it is always good to be safe, okay. It is always good to be safe and protected from getting yourself into any such situations and scenarios, because in the end, even getting yourself involved into court and into police is also a kind of a labor, okay. It will also eat away a lot of your time, energy and money from you. So it is better to keep yourself safe from getting involved into any such situation. So it is better if you keep yourself away from all of the women who are stranger to you, and even when you are thinking of or planning of involving yourself with any woman, it is better you first thoroughly test her and her motives, what she is exactly there for, what she is exactly looking for. And only once you get assured, only when you once get assured that this woman is safe and you are also safe with the woman, then only you go ahead and involve yourself with this woman. Otherwise, keep yourself away out of any such situation and scenario, because I am telling you, even getting into court and police is also a very cumbersome and troublesome labor. It will also eat away lots of your money, time and energy from you. It will be a huge distraction from whatever you are trying to build in your life.